All right, so this is episode 1 of my new podcast. This is just something new that I'm trying out. I love listening to podcasts, so I figured that I would give it a shot. Talk about some topics that I'm personally interested in, and I don't really know how long these are gonna run. My goal is to hit like maybe 15 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. So first things first, today is the day that we got Call of Duty World War II revealed to us. If you haven't seen the trailer, you definitely need to check it out. I can put a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, you can just Google World War II trailer and it'll come up. But this is the first time since probably Ghost, and I know a lot of people had issues with Ghost, so that's gonna be a tough pill to swallow. But it's the first time since Ghost that a trailer for Call of Duty was blaringly in your face a Call of Duty trailer. You're watching this and you're like, is it Battlefield 1? Nope, it's Call of Duty. I mean, it's obviously World War II era because it's World War II, but it opens up with um, the Normandy invasion, and you feel like you're watching Call of Duty, which is something that that should be happening. That's exactly what should happen when you're watching a Call of Duty trailer. You should know you're watching Call of Duty. So the fact that they got Call of Duty down, perfect. They did it. So I just want to do a quick wish list for what I hope to see in Call of Duty World War II. Now, the easiest way to base this is off of Call of Duty World at War, because it's probably the most similar in time frame and in setting. So if you look, World at War came out a while ago, though. I believe it was 2010, so 7 years ago. Or no, probably 2008. Yeah, 2008. I'm sorry. Um, so it's been a while since we had a game directly from that era. So things that need to be done properly, or at least my wish list. Let's do it this way. I hope that there is historical accuracy, which it seems like there will be given the trailer. Um, Another wish that I have is that the guns are accurate to guns that we would see during that time, which I think they will do, right? I just hope that there's no stretches on some of the guns where, I mean, the best example I can give of recent games is probably not laser guns, because that's just stupid, but let's say the 48 Dredge from Black Ops 3. Now I know that's a futuristic game, but it was like a 6 or 8 round burst light machine gun. Even in the future, it's unnecessary. I really hope, and I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I give Call of Duty credit for this. I don't want super unrealistic guns. I'd be so happy with having 6 versions or 5 versions of an M1, and having a bunch of different Thompsons, kind of like how Battlefield is set up, honestly. How you have, there's like a version with a quick draw, a red dot, whatever. I don't necessarily want it exactly that way, but I'm sure you can pick up what I'm saying with there being, maybe 2 or 3 different versions of a Thompson. You have your MP40, obviously. You have your Mosin Nagant. You have your guns from that era, your trench guns that are really in touch with that time era, but not a stretch. So that's another wish list. And my last and probably most important part of my wish list is that the multiplayer maps are actually a part of the world, of World War II. So, for example, just having maps that make sense for the game and make sense for World War II. Kind of like how World at War, you had there was like the battlefield, there was the airfield, you had, I don't remember the name of all the maps, but you had like the broken down palace, stuff that just kind of made you feel like you were playing a World War II game. Because, like, the games, I've had such a problem with maps being fun lately. I feel like the maps that we get in Call of Duties, they're all very, very similar, very just boring maps. So I kind of hope that they make the maps a little interesting. I think the best of the recent games that had really good maps was Black Ops 2 had really good maps. All three lane designs, all of them were, similar in layout, but totally different in how they played. And that's something I'd like to see in this as well for my wish list. So going on to the must list, and this is really only two things. The must list is that it must be a Call of Duty in the fact that I don't want I don't want a variant shame here, but I just want it to be a Call of Duty. I don't want there to be like 30 different ways that I can either pay or grind or do stupid amounts of work to get rewards for these crazy guns and these crazy advantages. I kind of want, if you think of how MW2 and COD 4 and like those early and even World at War, even Black Ops 1 out, honestly, you got rewarded very late in the game and it didn't reward you really anything in game. Everything was balanced as far as, these are the good guns, these are the bad guns. You pretty much have access to all of them dependent on your level. I don't want there to be you can't have game breakers like how the XMLR kind of broke MWR, how the BAL, what was it, Obsidian Steed and Inferno broke Advanced Warfare. You have these guns that just break games because they're not just core weapons. And again, I don't think they're going to do this, but it's a must that they don't. They can't make game-breaking weapons. And my other must that I kind of touched on in my wish list is just historical accuracy. It's really, it's not World at War II, it's World War II. So I really just hope that the game's accurate. And just a slight issue that I know everyone has an issue with Call of Duty, but I'd like to address it, is that Call of Duty, when I first started playing it, the first game I played was COD 4. No, COD 3 actually was the first game I played. I had no clue what I was doing. COD 4 was the first one I really was like, okay, I know what a first-person shooter is. So by MW2, I had started playing games a lot. I had started grinding. Back then, and I don't mean to get all good old Daisy on it, but back then, the games were good. Like, the games were just fun. You could play the games for a long time, and, really, what was your goal? Get fall and get a nuke? I mean, those seem like pretty boring features to have in a game, but that's really just what you were working towards. And I feel like that's a pretty cool thing to work towards. It's not something that, like, you're not just playing the game to play it. You're not mindlessly at level 600 and you're using the same guns you've used the whole time. Like, you actually have a goal every game that you want to accomplish. So the games were just made better and they cared about the games, a lot more. And with the addition of supply drops and variants and just changes to the game where it seems like Activision's happy putting out an Infinite Warfare and saying, all right, we know this is a mediocre game. We're going to charge you for supply drops and DLC and season passes so you can pay us more money to get a finished game. And that wasn't the case. The case back in the day was, we're going to give you a great game and everyone's going to play it. Because back then, everyone played those games. Everyone was always online. Everyone loved playing those games. And now it's kind of like, you're not really getting rewarded for playing the games. You feel like it's just not a polished game. You're not playing a game that you feel like had work put into it. I kind of mentioned this before, but Black Ops 2 really was just they had the season pass, and like really the only DLC you bought was customization kits. Um, but that game, it felt like they really tried to make a good game. When I remember the midnight of that game and playing with all my friends, and it was just like, wow, this is a really good Call of Duty, and I want that again. So that's kind of like my little Activision rant. Um, but on to the next topic. Not just touching on Call of Duty. Another entity, not necessarily series, but another entity that I really like is Star Wars. It's something that has been a part of my childhood for as long as I can remember because my parents and uncles and everyone of that generation grew up on Star Wars when it first came out. And then it kind of perfectly sprung back for my generation. I'm 22, so I was born in 95. And, you see Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Those were all came out for prime ages of, kids my age and kids around my age. So Star Wars has always been pretty huge. And probably, I want to say, I know it was PS2 and Xbox, original Xbox, but I'm just going to spitball, let's say 2005-ish, maybe 2007. We got the Battlefront games, and they were so cool because they weren't anything like Star Wars, but it was exactly like you were playing the Star Wars battles that you saw in the movies, but it wasn't like, the first Battlefront didn't have Jedis, so you're just playing as a soldier. It wasn't very Star Warsy, but it was like a good shooting game. And I feel like Battlefront 1 got really close to being a good Battlefront. I'm sorry, Battlefront for the next gen consoles, the one that just came out last year, 2 years ago, for PS4 and Xbox One. It was so close to being a great Battlefront and a great Star Wars game, but it just wasn't there. It was so close. There was the Jedi battles that you could do, I think one person on a team of 20 twice a game would get a Jedi from the modes that I played. Um, every character was human controlled, which I believe in the old Battlefront there was human and AI, kind of like how Titanfall is. So I don't know. I think Battlefront 2 from the trailer and from what I've seen looks really promising. 1 did a lot right. Battlefront 1 of the next gen consoles. But a point that you may get to is why should I spend $60 on it again after I maybe didn't like or wasn't overwhelmingly thrilled with the first game? Why should I spend 60 on the second game? That's kind of up to you and how you value your money, but I think that the second one really has a chance to be a good addition to your library that's not just another Call of Duty. Looking at my PlayStation homepage right now, my last, 7 games played are Modern Warfare Remastered, Madden, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Battlefront. So, and I play more games on Xbox and stuff like that, but I mean, it's just like every game's a Call of Duty. So it's when you get games that aren't Call of Duty, it's fun to be able to enjoy them. So I would say if you're looking to get some variation in your library and to just play some different games, it may be worth a shot. What I like doing with games such as this and let's say with like a Titanfall or something like that, I actually like using Redbox. For $3 you can get the game for a night. And what I like doing is getting the game when I know I'm not doing anything the next day, and I kind of just play it through the night and, wake up the next morning and play the game a lot and really get a good feel for the game to know, is this worth $60, or is it something I should just wait until Christmas and ask for Christmas or something along those lines. So I think that Battlefront 2 is not a game that should be slept on, and I think it's a game that everyone should really look forward to. Star Wars fans or not, I think it'll be a really good shooting game and just a really good sci-fi game in general. And for the last topic, this actually is really going to be a quick one because I'm not super into it as a game, but just something that I think is relevant in the world of gaming, is Destiny 2 got announced for, I believe, September. And I'm excited because when Destiny 1 came out, I loved that game. And the beta, I loved it. It was everything a Call of Duty and Halo hybrid could be, and it was just so much fun. I loved Destiny when it came out. The multiplayer beta was great because everyone had like the equal playing field, and I honestly haven't played it since, let's just spitball and say like last September was like the last time I played it. So I haven't played it in a while, but it did a lot of things right. It really felt, like I said, like a Call of Duty and Halo hybrid. It was a great adventure game, really good story mode, but it got to the point, the one thing it did wrong was felt repetitive. You always felt like you were kind of doing the same thing. So that's just something that I would hope that it shies away from in the second game, that it really just looks for more variation, more customization, and just a less grindy feel to it and more of a adventure, it changes as you go kind of game. So that's just something that I think would be really cool and something I look forward to. It's a game that I'll buy because I know I'll play it. But as a matter of how much I play it, that's kind of up for grabs. So that is that. I am going to wrap up the podcast here. We are just under 18 minutes. So if you did like this, I'm not sure what platforms I'll be uploading this to, but whatever platform you're listening to this on, let me know what you think. And if you have any comments or suggestions or anything, just drop them below or send them to me. And look forward to hearing from you guys and look forward to recording another podcast. Thank you.